Hey everyone, it's Jason here again, another installment of the PC Library. Super stoked today to be talking about Transaction Desk 101, right? What is this? What are we doing? Well, let's figure it out. So, what Transaction Desk is, this is the place that we go to find our paperwork, our documents, fill them out, and then we can get them signed using a service called Authentisign through Transaction Desk. So, think anything transaction related, right? It's the good stuff. To get there, first we're going to log into Northstar MLS. Go to northstarmls.com. We're going to click Matrix Login. Here you're going to be prompted to put in your NERDS ID and your password. Nailed it. All right. Okay, so you'll be prompted with a page that looks like this, and you're going to want to find this button right here, Instinet Forms. And this is going to take us to Transaction Desk. Now, I'm going to run it back because your screen might not always look like that. And if you're conducting a search, doing stuff like that, have the matrix open, there's another shortcut to access Transaction Desk. So this is how we access it from the general homepage. But if you are out and about working just in the matrix, I'm going to show you another shortcut. So right here, right? We're in the MLS matrix, we're building searches, we're looking up real estate, we're just sort of generally doing our jobs, and say we want to jump in to fill out some paperwork, right? Because that comes with the territory. We can also use this link right here. If you don't see this widget on your screen, a third option is to go to Tools, and you will also see Transaction Desk right here. So by clicking either one of those two links, it's going to take you right to this spot. Cool, right? Okay, what do we got here? What are we working with? So I'm going to show you a couple, just going to give you a general tour of Transaction Desk. So one, you always have the help desk right here. If you need live support, there's a lot of online trainings here that you can access to take a little deeper dive into this content. Just to know there, if you are looking for a more deep dive, you can go click on that online training, help videos, pre-recorded webinars. There's a lot of really great stuff here. Okay. So this will tell you everything you need to know about the deep dive. Again, right here, what we're talking about today is going to be more of just sort of a general tour. Right? But if you want to really get granular on how do you use every single aspect of this platform, there's a ton of help videos right here you can utilize. So again, from the dashboard, we just clicked on this help button and went to help videos. You can also go to the pre-recorded webinars down there. All right, so back to our tour. So kind of like Command, we have these different little applets on the side that'll help us navigate through Transaction Desk. So the first is going to be Agent Dashboard. So at a glance, I can see all of my transactions, right? These are the ones I build to hold the forms, edit the forms. I have one for every buyer I work with and every listing I do. It keeps all the paperwork in one place for me. I have my contacts attached to it, the property numbers attached to it. It's all right there. The other section here is the Authentisign widget. So this is where I keep all my signings. Now, typically, every signing is going to be attached to a transaction, but not always, right? Sometimes I just need a one-off signing, and I can also do that here. So for example, what does a transaction look like, right? So I'm going to click right into here, and I can see, okay, once I go into this transaction, I have all these documents, right? These are not state forms. This could be like a TISH. A lot of times the disclosures are in there because the sellers upload a PDF and you don't bring in your own form, right? Anything that is not downloaded from forms. And then over here, we have forms, right? And this is where we're going to find our basic Minnesota state forms, our representation contracts, our purchase agreements, addendums, amendments, all that fun stuff stored in forms. Everything else that's important to the document but isn't downloaded from here in documents. Okay, head back to the dashboard. And then in signings, right, I can go in here and say I need to, these are all completed signings, but let's say one has expired, right? This one has expired. So I'm going to click on that. gives me just a sort of glance like, okay, this was signed, this person did not sign. I wonder why that was expired. You can figure it out from there. You can also reset that. You can force a signing completion. You can remind those signers if it hasn't been signed. There's a lot of different options you can do in there. Then if we go here, you can create new transactions or create new signings. So here are all the old, here are all the new. We'll continue down to the home page. And again, this is just another sort of a deeper version of the transactions, right? Here's where I can see all my transactions, and I can organize them a little more. I can search for specific ones. If you need to add, you can do so right there. And again, here's a widget just for signings, right? So just like this dashboard is a glance of our transactions and our signings, this gives me a more in-depth view of all of my signings, so I can go through and look and do what I need to do. Okay, down here is going to be forms. So if I am searching for individual forms, I can find those right here. So typically, I'm not even going to go into any of this stuff, right? I'm just going to use this search bar. You can, figure out and find what box you want to search in, but if I'm looking for a purchase agreement, I don't need to go to North Star MLS Forms and then type in purchase agreement. All I'm going to do is type in purchase agreement right here. And it is going to show me all of the matches there. And so it's going to be anything that has purchase agreement in it, right? So it's alphabetical order. So here we have addendum to purchase agreement. So if I want that, I'm just going to scroll down and find purchase agreement. There it is. And these two, they're the same, right? So I click on that. And then I have the opportunity to create a new form and a standalone transaction, right? So this is, create a new form and start a new transaction. So this is going to start a transaction like I showed above, where it's going to house all the paperwork, all the information about that transaction. You can create just a standalone form, right? Say I just want to print out a blank purchase agreement because I want to give it to somebody so they can read it. Well, if that was the case, I'd create a standalone form, or you could create a new form and add it to an existing transaction. Now, there's easier ways to go about that once you're in the transaction. So usually I'm only using this if I just need a standalone form. So let's just play with it, right? Let's see, let's click a standalone form, success, and it's going to take me right to this blank purchase agreement. So in this scenario, I'm proposing here, it's right, like I'm getting ready for a buyer rep. Typically in my buyer reps, I leave everyone a blank purchase agreement because I always tell them, this is going to be the most important document you're signing. I want this to be the first time you see it, not when you're about to spend $400,000. That's right. So read through it. Let me know if you have any questions, because when the time comes where we are signing this for real, we might not have a lot of time to read through it all. We might be under some pressure. So that's a little aside. But here we go. Under here, we have a lot of different options. We can save this, download it, print it, trash it, all this fun stuff. We can edit these. We can go back home, we can jump pages, we can zoom in, zoom out, or we can send this for signatures. If we need just one document signed, we can fill this out, send it for signatures. If you want more details on that, we've got some other videos, but we don't have time to dive into that too deeply. Let's move on down. So we also have folders that we can keep here. To be honest, I don't utilize this function too much, but if you want to organize documents in different folders, this is an option you have. As well as tasks. You can set tasks for yourself. Now, this is really useful for people who don't have a database, right? People who are maybe keeping all their contacts on a spreadsheet, or they're not paying for a database, or they're not a KW agent, they don't have access to command. Well, this is a great space to help manage your activities, your tasks, but in our ecosystem, we have better tools for that. So I typically don't use the task list in here. I utilize KW command for that. If you want more info on this, you can use those help videos and you can dive in a little deeper. Okay, broker tools, you don't need that. But we also have a contact list here, right? Anytime you're creating a transaction, you're going to be asked to have contacts added to that transaction. So every time you add a contact or a signing participant or anything, they're going to be saved right here in your contact list. So this is a nice space to go where, say you are working on your database and you're like, dang, I forgot to add people who I did deals with, right? You can find them all right here. Export them, download, whatever you got to do, right? You can just access your people right here. If you are creating your own sort of clauses and documents, you can store those here. Again, I don't use the checklist manager. However, we do have transaction templates, right? Now, this is a good one. So we have created transaction templates for you. right? And there's a previous video in this library that shows you how to use those, how to access those. But let's say you do a lot of leasing. I think we do have a leasing one too. Let's say you don't find use in those templates, right? You do something that the templates that we built aren't giving you what you want. Maybe you want them different. So here is where you can go to create your own transaction templates, right? So it's a list of all of ours. You can go and edit, you can remove, and if you want to add any templates, you can do so by clicking add. And then, you'll name it, ownership, description, type of template you're doing, and then you're going to go through and add the paperwork that you want to it. Moving forward, these are just some vendor partners, not vendor partners, but partners to Transaction Desk. Cool, huh? All right. So this was your quick review of Transaction Desk. And again, if you need a reminder of what these icons mean, simply pull that out. It makes it a lot easier, right? Dashboard, transactions, signing, forms, documents, tasks, broker tools, contacts, clauses, templates, and partners. And again, do not forget the help desk. It's going to be a fantastic resource for you because, again, if you want to deep dive into any of these widgets here on the side, all you have to do is go to help videos and you can see dashboard, 22 videos, transactions, 47 videos, right? Forms, 16 videos. So there's a lot of content in here that's going to teach you everything you need. All right. Hopefully this was helpful. Bye-bye.